Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very sophisticated audience, and we deliberately, you will soon understand why I said we, decided to share some experiences from a very difficult setting. What are the elements that make us to believe that this is really not business as usual? You will discover that in our intervention in landscape, for the most part, the issue is the scarcity of water. What then happens when in a situation, really the driver of land degradation has to do with water in excess? What then do you do in a context where you have friable soils that have been poorly developed, and in that same context, you have one of the highest population density clusters in Africa, with rapid urbanization, road construction, deforestation, I think second to the highest rate in the world, and a fragmented, if not broken, institutional arrangement with conflicting mandates, overlapping mandates, and yet there are gaps. There are also superstitions. When you see some of these ravines, as you can see from the sample slides, people believe that these are caused by the gods and goddesses, by mermaids, by spirits. And then it takes a lot of financial resources to be able to resolve this. All of this is overlaid by a changing climate. And the situation, especially in the southeastern part of Nigeria, was such that transcended what the country could do on its own, and they approached the World Bank. Now, if you look at the photos before you, these are taken from 3 separate locations. The upper one shows the situation before the intervention of the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, and immediately at the bottom of it is the situation today. At the middle, again, that is at Amachara in Anambra State, you will see the situation prior to the intervention of NUMAP and today. And we even have in the audience a member from the community of Amachara, and she will be speaking to us very soon. And then the third in the series of this column is from Edo State, where you also have the before and after. The results have been transformational. It has been game-changing. The project has been understudied and is being understudied both by university students, by countries, and so forth. And as a result, we started with a $500 million project, and indeed the client requested for another $1 billion so that we can even scale it up to other parts. How were we able to really do this? This is the experience that I really want to share with you. One of the things that we did was to agree that it has to be an integrated approach. It has to go beyond what one sector can do, and indeed beyond what one individual can do. This is why I use the word we, because for this project we have 3 TTLs. One from Agric, the other from Water Resources, and yours truly from Environment and Natural Resources. That is not all that made this possible. We also insisted on state-of-the-art designs that had bioremediation measures. Now, these designs are thoroughly reviewed, but we also ensure that consistently there is a provision for tree planting, for regrassing, and for community ownership and participation. Then we also wanted transparency. Non-state actors, NGOs, CSOs were included in the stakeholders. Now, a lot of the drivers of the ravines that you can see has to do with people trying to eke out a living. So it is not just enough for you to say, don't do this, you have to provide alternative means of livelihood. And this is why, in the design and in the implementation of the project, we have a very robust component that provides alternative means of livelihood to the people. And today, over 5,000 people have benefited from the livelihood options. Then, because this water is actually in excess, we also look for innovative ways of making good use of this water. We also have water harvesting infrastructure upstream. Then, the community themselves. They are actually the reason for the success of this project. Their vigilance, their ownership, their dedication, their commitment is something that goes beyond the normal call of duty. Today, the results of the project has changed the narrative of the situation of soil erosion in Nigeria, which prior to new map tend to have defied all solutions. I have a couple of take-home messages. Number one, community should be at the core. In other words, bottom up. Second, we also need to, in that process, create a sense of urgency and have a team of people working on it. Then the involvement of non-state actors for accountability, transparency is really very, very important. And then giving people options rather than mere saying, do not do this without providing an alternative, indeed a better alternative. Then this project is also known for having a very robust grievance redress mechanism. The land that has been reclaimed, that is being regrassed and replanted, obviously people materialize from the earth to say, this belongs to me. How then do you resolve such issues? This is why the grievance redress mechanism that is actually anchored on the community's own legal system is in place and it works. Thank you very much.